Ani Kawan Nabab Sawaw Atum Rayay Afaf Ptah, and I am one of the student teachers of the master teacher, Nabab Yanun, and today I'll be giving the reading called Salvation. I give thanks to my ancestors for sending Yanun, the one who is master, the one who is savior and warner of this day and time, the one who heals by way of right reasoning, he who gave us the truth. We are the replacement by way of giving to us wu-nuwaupu, solid, sound, correct, right, reasoning, logic, our own way of life and living. He has come down towards us from the planet Razak, flesh and blood, inside a body from Razak, in Eliyun to the planet Earth, our salvation. A prayer for my own people, the replacements of all who failed. As each of their books taught that if they failed, a new people will be raised to wu-nuwaupu, replace. Those who lived by faith and beliefs of the religions of the Adamite race and their books, doctrines, teachings of their own history. Yet, now that I have come with wu-nuwaupu, and they become wu-nuwaupu, the ones who replace the others, it was written and it is. And O gossiping ones of the past before the year 2000 AD, the expiration of all the biblical and Quranic teachings, as well as the end of the 6,000 years of the Adamite, Tardad, dominations, and ruled by their own legends, fictions, and false beliefs. You who still follow them and make the claim to be counted among the knowing, know this: you have been deceived by the Kakasu, white, Caucasian, and the Arabu, Reds, Arabs, and their religious beliefs. Do not be ignorant and speak, preach, teach much about that which you are not knowledgeable. You who have Hatuma decided to live a lie, Atum, decide to now live the truth. You are of the original race of people. Act as if you have some sense. The Mujwawu, Jews, Muqsasu, Christians, and Muslims do not grasp the essence of that which or those who planned on this planet long before the Adam and Eve by whichever names. Neither in turn does those who grafted and made them grasp the essence of that which those were grown, Sayyim, divine in natural nature. Mankind can never grasp the natural nature of original African man. The unnatural man, beast, is just that, a heathen and a beast. Nor does this human beast understand our true divine natural nature thoroughly. Only what they breed of us as hybrids, neutrinoids, who have mulatto choice to join unto the Tananu, Draconians. We, Panataru, have designated a genetic system, a scientific system of natural rules of nature, and they are on the outside of this natural rule. A set of genetic principles to each creature of these species and entities to which all must submit. Of your 24,000 chromosomes in your genome, you always are using 24%. The other 76% is jumping DNA and satellite DNA and are interfacing with morphic field. So in fact, are active responding to alternations in your state of consciousness. Your satellite DNA ability to expand the number of repeating sequences means an increase in the outformation to your information, earning the capacity of DNA as a frictional antenna. DNA interacts with the etheric of space, time, and vacuum terms which are synonymous in the context with your zero time point of 0 point. Energy, which interacts with your consciousness. So each race or species in actual fact affected by their environment, everything they're taught, believe, and accept, everything they sharub, drink, akul, eat, breathe in, all is affecting your state of akal, mind, and mukwan, being, your 24,000 genomes, and the 24% of them you use at all times, and the 76% that you have been khaduba, lied, and told are not used, called by them junk DNA, which is sadak, true, for them, yet not for you, nagaru, negroids. Seek your own DNA salvation, which can only come by way of your own salafu, ancestors, those with your same positive blood type and DNA, yakhazat, genes, whose body, hazuz, vibrate at the exact same speed as your own pigmentation. The world's scientists, geneticists, genealogists, hematologists, dermatologists all now agree that we are not the same, only differ by skin color. That is now proven wrong. The white race originally had Rh negative blood type. The black race only had positive blood types. We are not the same. Now, it's known that the white race is of Cro-Magnon, European, who was Rh negative blood types and unique DNA. They know that the white race has 6 different types of chromosomes, not the same and not related to blacks. The black race has 9 different types of chromosomes, not the same and not related to whites. Over this past 6,000 years, there has been much mixing, crossbreeding. The result is now known as hybrids of both races, having both Rh negative blood type and Rh positive blood types, and exchanging for many diseases from the wu-nuwaupu, Europeans, to all others, starting with leprosy or leper, Greek lepros, scaly and rosy, Middle English bright. And their own Bible and Quran speaks of their curse in Genesis 9 verse 25, of whom was cursed, Canaan, then Leviticus 13 verse 1 through 59. What to look for when a people have the curse or plague of leprosy, and why their God put leprosy on a person, or people out of anger. Exodus 4 verse 6, Numbers 12 9 through 10. All this started from 4000 BC of their Bible time, or 6,000 years back from 2000 AD. So the fact is, black and whites are not the same. The white race of Adamites is only 6,000 years old. With time came sickness, disease, by them raping other races of people, not the same as them by the rules of natural nature. You are the divine race, the supreme race. The first race are now unaligned, untuned, out of sync. You must be realigned, retuned, the closed etheric cord, like a straw, has collapsed and must be reopened for the flow of your divine sahum, power, wu-nuwaupu, the strength. Your ancestors wait on you to reopen the straw like redialing a correct phone number, and they pick up from the other side, and then your prayers are heard. Now is your salvation time to remember yourself. I, Panabab Yanun, have come with the right music tone, the right music notes, the right key, the right tone, the new song. When the Jews chant in Hebrew, their own books, that is their own song. When the Christians hum or sing in Greek, Latin, or English from their own books, those are their own songs. When the Muslims chant in Arabic, their own book, that is their own song. Their song, chants in their own languages, in their own culture, rhythms. Their own physical voices vibrating from their own vocal cords. The membrane folds in their larynx that vibrates to produce voice sounds. And up until very recent, you could clearly tell a white man's voice from a black man's voice. Only after the past 400 years from the 1600s, with so much race mixing, do black men, some now, get mixed up with the white man's voice. Yet natural nature made the separation in the human species, and humans violated that rule. So our race must separate and become reattuned to our original physical structure and voice, that we may sing our own song in our own language, wu-nuwaupu. Until then, we will remain unaligned with self and kin, kind, and even act like other than self and kin, kind. We become a kind of man, becoming a beast and heathen, like Adamite seed. Many from amongst you echo statements, sing, chant the song of the counterfeiters, and trust the deception of the deceiving race of devils. And as a result, you have ended up being his slaves, and oppressed, confused, and without reasoning. Now for them, on their behalf, you also are fabricators of legends, fictions of untruth, rejections of your own actual facts, your trustworthy confirmations that which I, Nabab Yanun, as Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, spoke to you of as far back as 1970s AD. And all I taught is being confirmed each day. How can you doubt what you experience with your own eyes, ears? I, Nabab Yanun, incarnated and came before you, giving you what you asked of me until 2000 AD, when I was able to give you what I incarnated to really teach you, wu-nuwaupu. When you came upon me, you had much to ask, yet always based on what you believed from the Bible and or Quran. You asked me, am I Jesus Christ? I told you no. You asked me, was I a prophet? I told you no. You asked me, was I an apostle? You told me no. Many of you said, I know who you are and I know you won't admit to it. I simply said to that, okay. Many of you really wanted a holy man. I said many times, I'm not a holy man. I'm not Buddha, Confucius, or the Dalai Lama. Many of you really wanted a saint. I told you over and over, I'm a master teacher, not a pious, a altruist, except for my own race of people. Over and over I said, don't expect me to be holy so that you can only look and find fault in me. Do that with your pastors, bishops, ministers, clergy, reverends, who claim to live by the letters of the Bible they call the word of their God on good and evil. Do that with your imams, shiikhs, mullawi, who claim to live by the letter of the Quran and Hadith and Sunnah on being good, righteousness. Again, I was and am a master teacher. Stop looking for fault in how I live from day to day. Find fault in what I teach as a teacher. That you will never be able to do. I am Al-Mahdi by name only. The only true Al-Mahdi was and still is my great-grandfather from the Sudan. And that ends the Outformation for today.
Go ahead. In the case of us having 9 different types of genomes, in the case where you take blood, like if you're hospitalized and you take blood and you know, they have anonymous donors and people of all races are donating blood. What happens when there's, you know, you might take on a Caucasian's blood in your blood? What effect does that have on us? Because that happens a lot.
Well, as the master teacher explained, even though somebody may have the same blood type, especially if they're not family, your body still would try to fight it off because it's still alien to your DNA. You know, that's the same way when it comes to how he said where the baby gives birth and when the man ejaculates, that the woman's body automatically goes and attacks that the sperm because that sperm is still alien to her DNA, her body.
So you were talking about jumping DNA. You read it twice, but I still don't understand.
Well, jumping DNA is basically They explain how it was explained in the reading that we only use a certain amount of our DNA, right, which was 24%. And the rest of the percent is just different sequences that's in our body that they don't know what that is. So as my teacher explaining, that junk DNA, what is actually useful, especially that's the DNA that's being awakened through the actual facts, through the information the information that Bob was giving us. And a lot of that, he's explaining, a lot of the DNA is actually changing as you're going on in life through inclination, because it imprints on your DNA. Your environment and whatever you intake, that becomes a part of your junk DNA. So throughout the line of you having children, all that also goes passed down to your child also.
Hello, my name is Adonai, and I have a question. What do you think about life? Life.
Will I personally think of life? Yes. Well, as Master Teacher explained, I mean, everybody is on their own journey, but as he explained, life is basically the exorcist of basically making yourself better, taking all the crap or anything that's been fed to you and finding the right answer and the right course of life. But I can't tell you, my meaning of life may be different from your meaning of life. So I can't tell you exactly what's the meaning of life, but the ultimate purpose is for correction.
Right, these gods and goddesses are they're us, right? But they're just on a higher frequency and a higher state of being than us, right?
It depends on. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It depends on which context when you say goddess and goddesses. If you look at Egypt, we were always depicted as goddess and goddesses. But from the religious standpoint, people took that away from you and saying, this is not you, this is what you have to pray to. So it really depends on the context of what you're asking.
So, back to what I was saying. So, when I see a bunch of different religions, I don't understand it because I see people, like, praise it to somebody and say, oh, this person helped me, and I don't think that's right.
You're correct. As we explained, wu-nuwaupians, we only deal with things or people that has been confirmed, things that you can prove to exist. Like when you go to ancient Egypt, the structures, the people, the found mummies, those people that relate to you genetically, that has been confirmed.
On a scientific level, right? In a
spiritual, scientific, physical, all of it. All that is something you can go right now and go see. But outside of the Bible, which has nothing to really back it, you can't find no real religious structures or religious evidence that God exists.
I understand, because when I was thinking, like, I'm not Christian or anything, but like Christianity is like one of the biggest things, and I was just skimming through some pamphlet a lady gave me on the train station, and I didn't understand how people say that the Christian God is this and that, and these churches cause so much suffering with black people through slavery and brainwashes people all over the globe, and that doesn't make sense.
To be honest, people don't study the Bible. Most people go to church and they feel that is enough for them to be a Christian. But in the Bible it tells you to ask. But if you go to church, you can't ask the preacher, you can't ask none of them any questions, it'll be blasphemy or a sign of disrespect. But if you go into the Bible, you will see what the Bible's telling you outside of listening. Like the Bible will the preacher will contradict the Bible, And as the master teacher explained, you go back into the languages because the language doesn't lie. And most of them are getting false translations of the Bible written by Englishmen, which is English is a derived. It's a language that has too many other languages in it, so that's confusing already. So it's been translated with confusion. So that's why you really want to study the Bible, not just go by what your preacher or somebody else is telling you, and then ask questions.
I appreciate it, brother.
No problem.
Tower at your sword for coming out.